Hey, Maree, how are you?
Hi, Elisa. I'm fabulous. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Oh, we're so excited to be here. And today we're going to be talking about past lives, which is something I've been dealing with for a long time since I started my quantum hypnosis journey. And of course, that turned into something completely different now. Having people meet their galactic families, or having sessions like yours, Maree. So a little bit different. I'm not doing a whole lot of past lives lately, but there always is some questions that I have about it. So I'm excited today to talk about it and things like that. So um, we wanted to go ahead and start today with clearing out the energy, right, Maree?
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and let you do your thing.
Okay. And Jasper wants to say hello. So this is our little
Oh,
crystal
hey,
girlfriend.
Jasper.
So he helps bring through more clarity when I'm asking questions and the cards are coming through. So yeah.
Thank you, Jasper.
Yay. So what I'm just going to do now is like a couple of minutes. We're just going to go through and we're going to go into our heart and we're going to clear our electromagnetic field or our energy field, our
Oh,
aura,
good.
whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Just to bring through really high frequency for this. And I'll be running frequency at the same time, so you'll get a little energy hit. So I want you to just start just by closing your eyes.
Okay.
Taking a big breath in. And as you breathe out, just let your attention drop down into your heart, coming out of the mind. And then see, sense, or feel, or have the intention of white light beginning to birth deep within your heart. And this beautiful white light begins to expand. And as it expands through your heart, it helps to release any trauma, anything that is not of love. This white light then continues to expand through your body, up through your chest and your neck and your head, down your arms, all the way through your torso and your legs, right down into your toes, until every single cell is vibrating with this beautiful white light. Now this light keeps expanding out into your energy field. And as it does so, it clears any hooks, any cords, any ties from you to others or situations, and clears this. And as you sit in this white light, you feel a sense of peace, a sense of being rejuvenated and connecting into our beautiful Mother Earth. And this sense of peace will come back with you as you gently bring yourself back into the here and now, taking a breath, bringing your attention back into your heart and grounding yourself gently.
Very good.
Beautiful.
That was great. That was wonderful. I needed that, I was so excited talking to you. I was like, I needed to come down a little.
I know. And I think at the moment with the frequencies coming in, we're going through these big light body shifts. And so it's really important. I just wake up in the morning and run that beautiful white light on myself, and it makes me feel clearer and ready for the day. So it's something I do when I wake up and at bedtime. So it's really easy.
Yes, easy and simple. And that's good. Yeah, that's good. Wow. Well, I feel so much better now.
Yeah.
Okay, so past lives, right? So what we have been told as that is past lives. I don't know if you've read Dolores Cannon's books, but that's how I started in all of this. Originally, I read Brian Weiss's book, Many Lives, Many Masters, and that was when I was 23, and I kind of put it on the shelf, and I never really looked into it. Then later on, my spiritual awakening happened, and that's when Dolores came into my reality. And in those books, Dolores explains that past lives aren't really past. They are happening right now in this now moment. And each one is happening at the same time, like almost like a building. The way I explain it is, imagine a building is your consciousness, your soul, and each floor is a different life that's living its own separate life at the moment.
Yeah,
You know?
that's spot on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I wanted to see
Hmm.
if that's the case, if it's all
Okay.
happening at once. So that's what this is about, right? It's about this webcast is about, well, okay, we've been told this, but is it true?
Absolutely. And so the cards that have come up for that is the Knight of Cups. So to me, this is always bringing through a really solid message and helping us with emotions. So maybe like even 20, 30, maybe even 60 years ago, people wouldn't have been able to resonate with that. So this has been a bit of a slow, steady journey to come into this knowing and understanding of where we are at and what is time and how does it all work. And then the next one was the Queen of Pentacles. So actually with this knowledge and understanding that there is no such thing as time, everything's happening now, it gives us the power to actually create. So the Queen is very much that feminine principle and the creating, and the Pentacle is our reality. So we can actually change our reality so much more quickly by having this wisdom and knowledge. And then we just got absolute confirmation with the Ace of Swords. So it's cutting through the mental, I guess, the mental trauma of not knowing that this is how things actually work on an energetic level. So yeah, definitely spot on.
Wow. Wow.
Mm,
Very good. Very good.
yeah.
Um, so the next question that I had was, are these past lives real or part of the simulation,
Okay.
part of the
So,
video game?
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, they are, because the Magician cards come up. So this is, it's like magic. And as we know, this virtual reality, this hologram, it's all orchestrated. So the Magician is there with the magic and the mystery going on behind it. But the next card we got was the Knight of Swords. Now this is really, it's like a warrior. It's like a moving quite quickly. So what I'm getting is that it's, we're the warrior. So in every lifetime, we're incredibly powerful divine beings. So
Mm-hmm.
all of these simulations are going on at once. So we're like master warriors within this actual simulation. And the more our wisdom comes through, the more we can actually help to change the levels of each lifetime. So, and the Eight of Wands. So this is spiritual, very fast movement. The Eight's the infinity. So things can happen like that. And when we've come into this realization and understanding and remembering of how the actual other lifetimes are working, we actually have the power to go in and to help to shift it. And I know I've done that with other lifetimes. I've been going through grief or something, and all of a sudden it'll come through and I go, oh my God, this is actually another lifetime playing out at the moment and they need help. So I go in and do my meditation and go into it. And one of them was I was a baker way back, and my husband had gone off to get flour or whatever, never came back, and I was grieving, and it makes me emotional now. And I was in the church praying, and I remember I went up to her and I just dropped a feather next to her, and that's all she needed to know, that yes, he was gone, she could move on. So it was so powerful, and then that grief left me. So yeah,
Wow.
so we can work with our own other lifetimes.
Wow. 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 So you were able, I mean, well, that's because you have some, psychic powers that I know haven't developed yet. Um, but so you were able to realize you were feeling sad. You
Mm.
didn't have a reason for it, and then you went inside, and then you received that it was from another lifetime that's happening now.
And it was like I was watching the movie of it happening, and I could feel it and see it. And I felt like an angel when I was in the church next to her. I knew just to drop a white feather, and so she would find it in reality. So this is anyone can do this. You don't have to think you're psychic or anything. If you have an intention, if you feel there's something going on and you'd like to know where it comes from, there's really simple meditations you can do to actually help show you what lifetime it is. And I've run them for years and helped people. I mean, now it's quicker. You don't even have to go back and know what it is. It can just be shifted. So, but that was years ago, and that helped me to really understand this no time situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know that in one of the shows that I did with Elena Dannon a while back, we were talking about a workshop I had put together. And in this workshop, one of the meditations was healing some of the things that had happened in the past. And in there, she saw a woman that when she was in France, she saw a woman come to her and come to her and say, "You're going to be okay," and give her a scarf. And back then, she didn't know who this woman was. And when we did the meditation, she saw that that woman was her.
Exactly.
And she was freaked out. She's like, "Here's the scarf. I have the scarf I gave myself." So it was like,
oh, definitely.
mind-blowing.
And we help ourselves. Like, I've had a situation where I was going through a tough time. I was quite young. I'd been married quite young, and I knew I was meant to leave, but I just felt so bad about it. I thought, well, I don't know if I can stay here on earth. And I had this voice, literally, it was a male voice, and it said to my left ear, like someone was talking to me, "Maree, no man is worth dying for." And I went, oh, it was so powerful, and it helped me just get, bang, shifted straight away. And I knew, it took me a few years, but that's when I started to understand this time thing. I realized that was me coming back through as a future self, knowing what I needed in that moment. So
Wow. Yeah. And sometimes in the sessions that I do, I have told my clients to go back in time and heal and be just like we're coming from the future to help ourselves now, right? As the galactics. We can do exactly that and go back in time and give support to that younger us, right? Give support to them, because it's all happening now. And I know that's really hard to understand. For me, it's hard to understand. I don't mean to act like I know how the heck does this work, because I have no idea how that works. But all I know is that it's happening now, right? So we're able to, it's almost like a circle. And so I'm here in this circle, but I can go here in this circle. And that circle is happening at one time, right? It's a circle. So that's kind of the way that I see it. And it's important and powerful, I think, for people to realize that they can go back and they can be their own guides and provide support and give yourself support. So
yeah, no, I agree. And it's interesting because I feel too, the more we are in our present moment and the more we're in tune with our emotions, the more we can, I even just drop in if something's going on and I just go, okay, I acknowledge this aspect of me and I let it come up and I talk with it. And then I just love it and thank it for however it's been protecting me. And then I let it go to the light. I let it go on a holiday, literally. And that could be a whole nother lifetime where there was something going on. And I've just cleared it for that lifetime as well. It can be that fast.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There's the book Home with God. What was his name that wrote that? Home with God. But it explains exactly what you were just saying. And he defined it like an apple within an orange and then a little worm going through it. And all of these lifetimes being an aspect of that. It's very difficult to explain when we're so used to linear time.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me more about what the cards said.
Okay.
They said it is part of the simulation then?
Yeah.
So how come? Okay, it's part of the simulation.
Okay.
So all those lives are part of the simulation as well.
Yeah. So if we also look at the simulation maybe as an energetic field, so everything's energy. So then it's what we create. So the first card that came up was Judgment. Now, to me, this is also how we judge ourselves. And so these experiences through our lifetimes, it's all about our own judgment on it at the end of the day. So because then the 10 of Wands has come up, which is very spiritual, and it's finishing something. So as we complete something, we learn more self-love, we learn more self-forgiveness, we understand that we're actually a divine being and we're not just this human form. Then that can come into completion. Or what can happen is there can be a leaking of energy, or something else then has to be completed. So everything's so interwoven through this. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I'm seeing it. Yeah, and Jasper's just showing me when we look at the bigger picture, it's all our own energy. We're just having multiple experiences in different scenarios, you know, of the hologram. So, and like you said, it's quite difficult for our brain to actually comprehend that.
Yeah. So this is a good question. So you are living your future and the now at the same time. So
Okay,
yes.
let's ask the cards. Yes.
Well, you're living the past, the now, and the future at the same time.
Yeah. So let me cut cards on that as well. But the Tower. The Tower's just come up, which is massive changes. So in a way, there's no such thing as past and future. It's just our way of being able to understand a time zone or what might have been going on. You know, like at the moment, we're living in a time of where we have technology, which they wouldn't have had in another lifetime, or in another future lifetime, what we call future. It could be completely all technology, which is way above what we're seeing at the moment. So, yeah. And then there's the Hermit. So the Hermit to me is our beautiful, divine, higher self guidance, something that can see the bigger picture, and that is almost like our oversoul. Because as I've said before, I see the oversoul, Ace of Pentacles, see the oversoul as a like a train station. So you've got multiple different lifetimes going on from that oversoul. So, and there's the Ace of Pentacles. So yes, it's actually, that's probably an easy way to explain it, but it's probably more complicated than that at the end of the day.
Oh,
so this is our reality,
for
is
sure.
your pentacle. But yeah, so definitely combines so many different aspects.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask this now, even though it's not in line with my questions. But
Yeah.
So ask if we heal a traumatic aspect of this life, does that in turn now heal all the others?
Okay, let's have a look and see what the cards
So I
say.
guess now that I'm seeing it, it's like you said, the oversoul, or what I call the higher self, is the piece that broke off from source, that said, oh, I want to be me, I want to be an individual energy, I don't want to be source anymore, I want to be separate. So to me, that's the oversoul, the higher self. So, and that one again is in the center of the circle. So it wants to be a dog, and it wants to be a rock, and it wants to be a human or an ET or whatever, right? So if you heal this part of the circle, I guess it would make sense that you heal the other, right?
You're spot on, because the Three of Wands is looking out over a bigger distance. So it's not just what's going on in this moment, it's actually affecting, and that's really showing just what you've explained, a bigger perspective. And whether it's a healing, or whether it's just a remembering, or whether it's a reconnection to us remembering our divinity, that's what it could be. So, and then the World came up. So, like, again, you're talking about a circle and in the middle. So, yeah, that's a really nice way to explain it. Absolutely. And the more we come back in and remember our true divine essence, then the more that we can just overflow with our love and our consciousness, and it will naturally be raising our vibration, which will help us to be more reconnected. And the one thing that will stop us, so the Nine of Swords, is worry and fear. So this is probably the anti increasing your vibration. So if someone's in fear, if I go into fear, I'll drop in and I'll talk with that fear and I'll look at it and I'll ask it to tell me what's going on. So I'll treat it like an aspect of me and really own it, not try and push it away or suppress it.
It is an aspect of you, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you fragment your soul. The ninth dimensional Pleiadian collective explained that you fragment your soul when you do not accept an emotion in the body, because you are pushing away a piece of you. It's part of you. It's a piece of you.
Absolutely. It's so true.
Yeah.
You know, and I've done a lot of work with bringing back through soul fragments as well, with intention and healing. So, you know, I don't feel we have to do that anymore. I really feel that what we're going through, it's just happening so fast.
Yeah.
So
here's the next question.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that the healing could have started in a different present life. No, in a different life, not a present. Well, yeah, present.
Well,
I guess
present.
it is a present
Yeah,
life.
I know what
Tesseract's
trying to say.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look and see what the cards tell us about that.
Yeah.
Again, it's getting our mind around the linear timeline we're used to living in to slow things down, to give us an experience, and then how it works on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll ask for clarity with that. Yeah, okay. So the first one is the Four of Pentacles. Now, this is about solid foundations. This is about setting something up so that there is a starting point per se, I suppose, and that's where everything then can come from. So that our present moment for us is that starting point. So, yeah, let's have a look and see what the second one says. I like having a story. Again, it's a magician. So it's really hard to actually explain this because there's so much magic going on that our human brain finds it difficult to comprehend. So absolutely, we're one. So if we think of ourselves as one and we've just got a train station with all of these different aspects going on, then and then we've got Page of Swords. Now, when Page of Swords comes through to me, the page is about bringing a message, but also learning. So it's younger. So it's understanding that mental plane. So how we think about things can often be difficult to put into words. So with what Tesseract's asking, absolutely, we've chosen to have our present experience here in this body, whereas exactly having an experience with the same knowledge and connection in another lifetime. So we've actually separated ourselves out.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So then all of our lives are taking us to one point of completeness. I would think so. I would think that all of our lives are I don't it's not about completeness, it's about experience, right? It's not really about completeness, but about experiencing different emotions, different. What does it feel like to be a rock? Like there's nothing really to heal there other than what does it feel like to be a rock? And so it's about the experience of what does it feel like to be a rock, right?
Spot on. So the Ace of Swords is saying yes, it's definitely about an experience and expansion, because what our source, our beautiful creator, God, whatever you want to call it, just expands continuously, and we're actually doing that, having these lifetimes. It's expansion of consciousness. Oh my God, straight under that was the Ace of Wands. So so there's absolute clarity. And then there's the Hanged Man, which is the surrendering. So we can't know everything. If we knew everything, as we've said before in other chats we've had, we'd be bored, brainless. It's like you have to surrender, and that faith and trust then comes through. And that's often what expands us even more. So because, on Earth, again, we're the ones that have lost our memory. We are put down here and our memory stripped from us. This is a tough gig, but it's an amazing gig. So, and again, it's saying, don't go into fear. Stay in a place of trust. So feel it, but that's what's going to limit the expansion. So that message keeps coming through, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I saw, where is it? The Andromedan said, I don't resonate with the information. So I would love, Andromedan, for you to tell us what you think so we can ask the cards, what is it that you don't resonate with? And that way we can ask the cards to see what do they have to say, because you might have a point, there might be something, or maybe you just don't feel right about the information, but you don't know what to ask. But if you do, and if you know what you don't resonate with, that would be great, because we can ask the cards.
Yeah.
So
and it's very difficult to explain this whole concept and bigger picture in our limited vocabulary as well. Like, I get images
and knowledge,
and trying to explain it, and it is going to be a different perspective for everyone. That's our gift, is we're all unique. So absolutely.
Let's see. So Tesseract, our consciousness is always with us, here or everyone, all present lives. Our consciousness, yeah, right. Our consciousness is always with us. I don't know if I understand the question, but okay.
I think I do. And Tesseract, just pop something else into the comments if I'm not getting it. Because what Jasper was showing me is we're all connected anyway. So we're all part of this big
We're
soup.
all one.
We're all one. So absolutely. And that's our clarification, is the Ace of Wands. So as humans, we feel very individual. We feel very separate sometimes, whereas in actual fact, everything is resonating with other people. It's like a beautiful network of energy that runs through us. And when we, you know what it's like when you come up against someone that is maybe feeling sad, we can suddenly start to feel sad. So everything can get passed through this network because we're all connected from the same source of energy anyway.
Right. And that's exactly where it comes from, is we all come from source. Ultimately, we're all little particles of light that broke off from the same place. So we ultimately are the same energy.
Yep.
We're all source.
And again, that Four of Pentacles has come up with, which is the foundation. So we're given our own little foundations of that energy, and then we have to work out how it is we are all connected and who we truly are, and remember that. And this is then why, our beautiful Five of Wands has come up, because we tend to do a lot of fighting between ourselves sometimes because we forget that, and it's we come back, the ego might come through and want something a little bit different, which is very human and very, very normal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So Alexis was making a comment. I wonder if we learn from past lives because of quantum entanglement. Let's ask that. I mean,
okay.
I think the answer is yes, but I don't want to assume.
Yeah. So I'm going to look at quantum entanglement as that connectivity between us all.
Yes.
I'm presuming that's what Alexis is actually asking.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so the first card that came through is our Six of Swords. And to me, this is always, we're on a journey. So, and this journey can take us to different places. It can move us away from what we consider troubled waters into something that's more clear and calm. So, and then the moon came up, and I'm not surprised, because the moon to me always is around our psyche. And if we've got wounds or there's something that needs to come up to be expressed, that can happen through other people, through situations, and from other lifetimes. When you meet someone and you go, oh wow, I feel like I know this person, and then something unfolds between you and that person or that situation, and that could very well be from an experience that's going on in another lifetime, or some sort of connection. So the moon to me is always a revealing of something within our psyche, and it can be a little bit of a tough one, so we can go through some tricky situations. And then our Emperor card comes up. Now, I always see our Emperor card as like a winner, like, yep, everything's going to be fine, this is all going to work out. And so there's always a solution even before there's a problem or a situation or a question, is how I see life as well. And it's just remembering that solution. So yeah, so I love it when the Emperor card comes up, because it means, yep, everything's going to be fine, in control at the end of the day. So
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
and to answer this question too, with regards to the sessions that I do, absolutely, there are, just as we bring traumas from past lives, we also bring forth learnings from past lives as well.
yeah,
Sometimes more than others. In the case of us in this world right now, we are starting to get more from those lives, right? From those other lives, more information and more downloads on when we were in Atlantis or Lemuria or any of those things. So we're starting to get more information from those times. So absolutely is my answer to learning from past
yeah.
lives, for sure.
And also too, because this frequency has risen so much in our timeline at the moment that we're experiencing, you know, I think it was even Dolores Cannon that said, when we went back and we went to a lifetime where they were like from the 18th century, they would see us as shimmering white beings because our frequency is so high
Yeah.
compared to what it was. So yeah, so you know, and therefore in this lifetime, my understanding is that all the lifetimes where we've mastered our psychic gifts or our whatever musical, whatever our gifts were, it can come through a lot more easily with that higher frequency as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
So a question um, that I that I had, and this also comes from Dolores's work, is that are there blueprints that we choose when we incarnate? So I noticed that I was in a forum, part of a forum, practitioner forum, and people were like, "Oh, I talked to Maree, Jesus's mom," and "Oh, I had so and so," and I'm like, "Wait, I talked to Maree. I had Joseph, I had, these, I had Moses," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, we are not all getting the same, So, what I realized, and then somebody pointed out in Dolores's book, was that when we come into this lifetime, we have the option of choosing a blueprint that we want to follow, that we want to remember. So I wanted to ask about this blueprint,
mm.
um, and and see what the cards have to say about this blueprint.
Okay, so I was just pulling them as you were talking and asking, and what came up first was our Seven of Swords. So to me, this is trials and tribulations that we bring in, like a blueprint, and some of it we might feel we've got a bit of a handle on, and then there's others that are more difficult. So to me, that's saying yes, and then that's confirmed with the Ace of Swords. Yes, we do have a particular blueprint. The other thing as well with that is the Strength card came through. So
So it gives you to have the blueprint, gives you more strength in this
yeah,
lifetime, right?
yeah, and that's what we're aiming for. And I've actually just put a post up on my website around what I call the Chiron Wounding. Not many people have maybe heard of
The
this.
what?
Our Chiron Wounding. So this is our soul wounding as part of our blueprint that comes through. So whenever our birth date and year can indicate what we might revert back to as a patterning when we're in a situation where it's tough, or there's initiation going on, or we're getting stressed, we might revert back to these particular ways of being. And once we understand that, we can then be more cognizant and actually work with it. So we go, oh, I'm dropping back into that pattern again. That's my Chiron wounding. So that's part of a blueprint. So it's a really good thing to understand as well for ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, so I guess there's different types of blueprints that can be chosen. Is I don't know how to ask the question. Would the blueprint always be like a master or something we aspire to be or something that we look up to,
Okay,
or would it be something, or can it be something else?
let's find out. Okay, interesting. The first card up is Temperance, and to me this is always around change and understanding a situation. So I feel it's very individual, like every aspect that comes through to experience, it's almost like an individual blueprint. So yeah, so it's a learning. So the Page of Wands has come up. So this is about a learning spiritually and bringing it into physical form. So some of us might have, I'll bring up the third one. Yeah. So it's the Three of Wands. So very spiritual, because we're looking out over the distance and the horizon going, well, what do I want to experience? Where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? How can I put them together to help create something new? So this is just what I'm seeing coming through with the cards. So very individual. So, but you may have a group of souls that also go, well, I want to experience that as well. So can we, conjunct somewhere to actually create that together? So we still have our individual blueprint, but there could be an overlay of souls choosing to experience that as well.
Okay, and what do you mean by that?
So I'm seeing it as layers. So it's like the blueprint can have layers on it.
Okay.
So yeah. So
okay.
So it can be an individual one, and then there can be a blueprint that also involves other soul groups or other people or other whatever. So, but our individual is the core, was with what I was getting with those cards. So that Temperance card, that's the individual.
Okay. I think I understand.
I'll do some clarity with that if you like.
Yeah.
Again, our moons come up. So again, this is our own psyche. This is our own whatever needs to come up for us. So again, I always feel the moon is very much about our own personal psyche. So definitely there's that individual card there. And then the world. So as I was saying, you can actually then have this, because we're all connected, there's an aspect of it that is co-connected in with others, with situations. So does that sort of help clarify that? So the blueprint can be layered. Then the Nine of Cups. So this is something that we've desired to experience, to feel, and it's helping that to come into fruition through what's in our blueprint. Because that blueprint, what I'm feeling and seeing is will actually attract those people in. You know how our frequency will actually attract into us what we need or what we are experiencing. So
yeah. But what I'm talking about is more of the blueprint of like Jesus and Mary and Joseph, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your current blueprint on Earth. I'm talking about these specific blueprints that we choose.
So what I'm getting with the Fool is we're stepping into unknown territory. So the consciousness, so when beings like of such high vibration, like Jesus, Mary, the ones that have got a very high frequency, it's almost like they leave an imprint of consciousness on the earth, and so we can tap into that.
That's what
Sorry, so that's so that might make it easier. Ace of Cups, there you go. So yes, so that's what we're doing, is we're actually tapping into that consciousness that they've left on earth. So Jesus was templating in the fifth dimensional frequency on earth, as was Buddha, whatever the beings were that were here. So when we can tap into that because it's running through our grid lines. So so people go, I've experienced being Mary or something. Well, maybe what's happening is actually just tapping into that consciousness that's starting to really resonate and increase within you around that. So
okay, all right. So the next question is the healing of our past traumas to help the collective learn also?
Okay, let's check.
I would think the answer would be yes, because we're all one, but maybe not.
Can't make this stuff up. We're getting the same cards. So the Magician again. So yes, it's definitely a collective. The infinity sign is really standing out to me. It's quite strong. So yeah, we're absolutely part of this collective. We're all intertwined. We come from the same energy. So definitely that is the whole point. But because we feel we're separate, because we've forgotten who we truly are on a divine level.
Yep.
That's part of it. And again, the Temperance card has come up. So we feel individual and we've got our own journey to go through, but we're also still connected, and it is going to absolutely help consciousness, collective or whatever's going on. And this is just a reminder that we feel like we've maybe been put into a little bit of a jail, not being able to see clearly that we're actually here for the collective. It's, to be of service to God is of being of service to all.
Yeah.
So and that's what we sometimes forget. So
if you're healing yourself, you're not only healing you, you're healing the collective. And that's why the good ETs are here helping us, because they know that if we heal us, they themselves will rise even more. So
Absolutely.
it is part of the deal. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's see.
And especially if that's our intention. So, if we're intending to heal something within ourselves, I always say, whoever else needs this or, whatever, then I allow this to be freely, passed on to others. So, yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So I am you on a different timeline or a present life experiencing through you. Is this why we're one? Am I you on a different timeline? No, I don't think you are you on a different timeline.
Let's have a look.
I mean, I thought we were one because we came from source. So
yeah. So the Hierophant is come up. So this is number 5, which has always changed, but it's also to me it's an authority figure of divinity. So there is one source, there is one aspect, but we're having our own individual experiences as well. We're still connected. However, our focus and our attention is in our present moment. So and then the Magicians come up again. So there's some things we'll never maybe understand fully from where we're coming from. So look, Tesseract, it could be that. However, I feel that there'd be the connection, but our own personal experience is that. But once we get it, I love this card. So the 3 of Cups is about celebration, and we've got it, and we've all come together. Because yes, we're all from source. So if they put us back in a big melting pot, then I guess we would experience what everyone else has experienced and through them.
So I think what's important to note, at least for me, that comes up is to how huge it is that as you heal you're healing others. That's huge. Like that's massive. Gigantic. Yeah.
And it's lineage as well. Remember, we're clearing our lineage, and this is why often our beautiful family, our lineage family, will be around supporting us, because we've chosen this time to be here on earth because we're the strongest of the strong within ourselves to be here, and they know that, and so they're there supporting us, and that can be us as well. So
yeah, that's why it's so important that I think. And please don't think I'm a saint, because I'm not. When somebody cuts you off in traffic and you wish bad upon them, then you're wishing bad upon yourself in essence. And it's that energy again of whatever you throw out there, it comes back. And so it just like that comes back to you, so does the healing. So it totally makes sense.
And it's interesting. I love what Lauren's popped up. So she said maybe it's through the collective consciousness that we get to experience other people's journey. And I actually think that's a nice way to put it, through that connection. Because I know sometimes I'll tune into a friend or something and I'll go, oh, they're doing this, this, and this. They're going to be 5 minutes late. Yep. And I'll just see everything. So, it is going into that space of consciousness.
Right.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. And she said, perhaps we experience each other through the collective consciousness, even as we are individual consciousness. Yeah, absolutely.
It's beautifully said. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question I had was, are there humans that have never had a past human life or other incarnations? Because sometimes I feel like I have clients that are like angels that came to help right now in this time and place, and they've never done anything else other than being angels. So I want to see if that's correct.
Yeah, it's the Four of Cups has come up, so it's like someone's being offered, I guess, an experience like that. So they're choosing to come down, but oftentimes they don't know what they're getting themselves in for, because they can be such pure, high frequency energy. So then I've got the Ten of Swords, and it's like, what? So they can be
Just too
quite,
much.
yeah,
It's
they're
too
so
much.
sensitive to this. Really, it's been a very low density. It's rising now, which is making it easier, but it would have been quite difficult. And you think of all these beautiful children that have come through that are
Mm-hmm.
really sensitive and get labeled, as whatever, autistic, ADHD, yet they're actually just completely still connected and sensitive, and they feel this vibration that impacts them.
Yeah.
So, that, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. And
Yeah.
then we've got the Eight of Cups. So it's walking away from a situation. Um, so it's been quite a hard journey for them, but it's almost like it's coming to completion is what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing the frequency rising and rising. And so they've actually helped with that as well. So they've helped be like a template to bring this through
Yes.
from the grid, the Earth's grid line, and they've been the ones that have also helped to bring it through cosmically. So absolutely, very strong yes with that.
Okay, so in your opinion, those cards are saying yes, there are people that come in that are
Yep.
first time.
And just showing what their journey can be like in this very, very heavy density compared to
Yeah,
what
because
they're
that's what
bringing
I
through.
noticed. They talked about the journey, but not a yes or a no, like
Yeah, the
a
journey's very
specific yes.
tough. Yeah. So, and they might only come in for like what we consider a fleeting amount of time, but what
Mm-hmm.
they actually can accomplish, for them it might be just coming through and then going out, but we see them as being here for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whereas for them it could be a very fast.
Yeah.
So that could be why the yes and no, because it's like it's a bigger picture again that we maybe don't see.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So do beings in other planets have this as part of their soul plan of past lives? Like, do beings in other planets have this as part of their soul plan? I think
Like a
that's what I meant.
blueprint, that sort of thing. Is that what the question is, do you think? Or
Well, this is my own question that I wrote down,
okay.
but so I guess what I was trying to say was, imagine an Arcturian.
Yep.
Would an Arcturian have past lives as well? Like,
Okay.
do ETs also? Because if it's part of this simulation,
Mm.
and they are part of our simulation, but are they in the simulation? See, that's the part I don't understand with the ETs and the higher beings. Are they in the video game, or are they outside of the video game coming into the video game to help us?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And the Seven of Pentacles has come up. So when I look at this card, it means there's been a lot of work already done. There's planting going on. So let's face it, we've got Arcturian stuff. We've got whatever in us. We're star seeds. So we've come onto this planet to experience it and to be in the simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Some don't. Some stay out. So it's all depends on what we want to plant. So, and then the Ten of Swords has come up again. So for me, this is the lifetimes that we have here. It's more traumatic than what I feel would go on other planets, because of the fact that we forget. And remember, we're the only ones that forget. So if you're leaving your body as an Arcturian, or you're changing vibration, I mean, who knows, they might live 12,000 our years, what we consider our years,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go, I'm going to change form now. So it depends on their frequency as well as to how much, how they decide to do it.
Yeah.
And the King of Wands has just come up. So that's, to me, saying, yes, spiritually, this is mastering that spirituality and choosing to be in that high frequency. So they wouldn't come into our little game that we're playing from that frequency. So that's why we have to drop our frequency to come in, and we forget who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a different game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So they're all in the game too. They're all in the game too.
Well, their own game, yeah, but they can
their own game, but
yeah.
Are they in our game? Like
they can visit, so they
Okay.
can visit.
Okay.
Depending on the frequency, like they're not going to drop in while we're sitting in really low density, 3D energy. I feel they'll help us to raise our consciousness, because even for me, I know what I see in the sky. Like, I've been very connected to ships for a long time, and I can see them, and I ask for a sign, and I get it, and I go, okay, as I'm raising my frequency, it's becoming easier and easier to see and connect with the frequency, because the ships themselves have a consciousness.
Yes.
So, yeah. So as we raise our frequency, then things become clearer to us, so they can be part of our game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So I know they're part of our game. I just wasn't sure if they also have past lives. But I guess I hate to call it past lives. How do we call it? Like,
what
other
about an
lives,
experience on Earth?
other spiritual lives, other, like, for example, an Arcturian is having his little life, and then we are their past life. Like they say, how do I explain this? So it would, in the end, it's just us anyway.
It is. And
so the answer
some
is yes,
of them may,
I guess.
some of them may have experienced having a lifetime on Earth, as we have, and then we'll go into other planets and other realms and other frequencies as well. So it depends. Some of them may never have a lifetime on Earth. They have their own going on, and they, like I said, that to me, what I'm seeing is, and I'll pull a card on this. Yeah, they have the choice to set up whatever it is they want to experience, because they remember, and they're always of service. So this is, again, a foundation, setting up whatever it is they want. And then the 10 of Cups, which is celebration, choosing where you want to live, who you want to be. So it's all what is best for the collective when you don't forget who you are. So it's being of service, and they would choose that or discuss it or whatever. But we'll find more of that out, I guess, once we raise our frequency and begin to see it more.
Absolutely. So there was a question here, something about if you, okay, here it is. Are there starseeds who come to Earth to help and ended up being part of the dark side? Let's ask the cards about that.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I think the answer is yes, but
let's just see what our cards tell us. Just tuning in. Okay, this is interesting. So the Three of Swords has come up first. So that's, to me, a yes, that it's it's gone. They've gone into that dark side. However, again, this card is, it's really interesting, because I knew this card was going to come up again. Like, so many times today I was getting the hit. I went, I'm just going to go in and meditate on the card. And how many times has this card come up today? And it's the Four of Pentacles. To me, it was actually already what I'm getting from this. That was a setup. So, okay, so like I've said before, let's look at, say, someone like who is in a role of a premier or a governor of a state, and they're pretty damn dark. They're good, doing some nefarious stuff. What if they were the masters? What if they were the starseed that said, yep, I'll come down and I'll play that role. It's going to be pretty crappy, but I'm going to do it. So we don't know. So maybe that was a foundation that was already set up. So, and then the Hermits come up. So to me, this again is that deep contemplation, but also being guided by divine spirit. So how do we know that that's not an absolute deliberate setup?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But,
yes.
and I'll, one of the things I always like to say, and I think maybe I've said it here before, and that is that without the bad guys, there is no ascension. Without the thing that you put in the arm and the V thing that causes you to put the thing in the arm, all those things are here for our growth. So we cannot judge them as bad.
That's
We just
exactly
can't,
right.
because they're here for our growth. So
yeah, they're helping us change and
they're
bringing up
helping
any
us become who
wounding and
we
fear,
are.
and it's helping us to break the indoctrination and all of the brainwashing we've had since we were born on this earth. It's brilliant, and it's done it so quickly. Like, it brings up everything, our anger, our resentment, our fear, and then it brings up, well, hang on a minute, maybe this was really perfectly orchestrated at some level. So
Absolutely, it's all orchestrated, and it's
yeah.
all, that's kind of why I haven't really, like, almost like the stuff that's going on galactically, I don't even listen to it anymore. It's
Yeah.
almost like I don't really care, because I know it's all set up anyway. It's like a
It
soap
is,
opera.
and exactly what's come up in the cards. So it was the Hierophant first, which is again that authority figure of divinity, all orchestrated to bring through these guys. Okay, so and then again, that real wisdom, that real support and learning. It's like showing the way. It's okay, find your way out of here. That's your job. That's
Yeah.
what you came here for. Hey, you can choose how you see it. You can choose how you experience it. And it can be really tough. It's really, a lot of people have been through a lot of suffering with this, and whew, but there is really good to come. And that's what like you said, I feel it's really important to focus on knowing
Yeah.
that this is helping us resolve and shift so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just really good questions. And I really didn't have any other questions that I could come up with. Did you have any, Maree, regarding
Um,
past lives and
with past
parallel
lives
lives? And
or other lives, future lives, yeah, I'm going to ask actually if it's worthwhile to even consciously drop in and meditate on if there's anything we can do to help ourselves in other lifetimes, or whether it's all about just staying present and healing what comes up in us and our emotions.
oh, okay,
So
very good. I
yeah,
love
so I'm
it.
just going to ask that. Is it worthwhile going in with that intention? Okay. Okay, so the King of Pentacles came up first. Now, to me, this is very much a mastering of our reality. And when I look at it, that green again is just flowing through. So it's almost like having the intention of wanting to be of service and to help and to send love and light to all aspects of ourselves. And then it's like, but dropping in and doing it individually, staying within our own being, and whatever comes through here, if we have an intention of wanting to help all other aspects of us, which means it's all other aspects of everyone, and we focus on ourselves, because to me, the Nine of Pentacles is about our individuality and creating from ourselves, okay? And then the Four of Swords, which to me is something hidden. It's a mystery, and often that will stay hidden until it's the right time for it to come through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really focusing on us with an intention of wanting to heal all that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wow. Wow. Well,
so we don't
yeah,
have to
that's
consciously go
powerful.
out and find other lifetimes. With our intention, our divinity is going to bring that through in our now moment. And as long as we're conscious and working and being in the now moment, then
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the key. Being in the now
Yeah.
moment, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
key. All right. Any other questions? We're already in an hour pretty much.
Oh, wow. Gosh,
Yeah.
that went so
I
fast.
know, right?
Wow. So has anyone else got any questions in the chat that are even...
We can close it out with this if you want. Good. Any good to come in 2022?
Let's ask
2022.
that.
Well, 222.
I love 222.
Thank you,
Okay.
Lauren. Sending you all much love too.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good question.
So 2021, we're coming out of being so encapsulated,
Yes.
so jailed, so blinded and bound and feeling like we're restricted and can't do what we're meant to be doing, to coming into the King of Cups. So this is masterfulness of the emotions, and the gold, that beautiful gold cape is really standing out. To me, that's manifestation. And it's like our cup is definitely going to be filled over where, yeah, it's looking really promising. The High Priestess. So this is about the feminine and the masculine. So it's balance. So there's going to be more balance in
Oh,
2022. It's also, interestingly enough, the tarot card that came up for 2022 is the Lovers. And of course, that's balance within ourselves, within our relationships, within our relationship with the world, with government, with everything. So
yeah.
it's coming to a point of balance, which will be so much more peaceful.
Yeah.
So yes, that's a yes.
Okay.
2022 is going to have a good coming to it. Just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Very exciting. And one last question, and only because it's a great question from the Andromedan, and that is how to remember past lives. Um,
Okay.
I know that people come to me to remember past lives. That's why they come for quantum hypnosis. But there are other options as well. So I'm interested to see what the cards would say.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so the first card that's come up is the King of Wands. So this is mastering the spirituality. So so for example, for me, when I used to, before the frequency increased, I used to do a beautiful quick meditation, and I'd go into a tree and I'd walk down a spiral staircase, and there'd be doors around the tree. So anyone can do this meditation inside the tree. Whichever door had light coming from it, I knew that was the lifetime or the experience I was meant to go in to know about. So I would go in, and then I would trust. So the first thing to remember, the Andromedan, is trust and have faith. That don't judge yourself for what you're seeing. Just really trust it, because that's what we're meant to be experiencing. And then I would actually just see what was going on and see what the learning was, and heal it. I'd ask my higher self to come through to heal that, and anything I needed to do back once I was back and present, then I would do it. But I would find it would shift at the time. So that's why the King of Wands, which is the master of spirituality, literally is coming through. So the first thing to do is to trust, to have a little like a ceremony or something that you do to allow yourself to go into another lifetime that's relevant and pertinent for now, and then have the strength to know that it's actually going to be healed. That infinity sign again is standing out with the lion. So have the courage and strength and faith to know that you're meant to be knowing that lifetime in this moment, and that it will heal. And so again, there's mysteries. So we won't always know everything about it. We'll just know the pertinent time that's actually maybe caused a wound, or where we've actually got a gift from. So it's not always negative either. So it's just really trusting that little journey that you choose to do when you have the intention of remembering another lifetime, whether it's what we call past, future, whatever.
Yeah.
So I
Parallel.
hope that helped.
Parallel is the best that I
Yes,
think
parallel
I've
world. Yes,
seen. Parallel lives. Yeah.
yes, true.
All right. Well, that is it for today. Very
Wow.
exciting, very good information.
Yeah,
And I love you guys. Thank you for being here.
yeah.
And if if Maree's information is in the description of the video, as well as mine. And again, just do whatever you can to heal yourself, and to because when you do
Oh.
that, when you heal yourself, you're helping not only yourself but everybody else.
So I've just pulled a card for everyone for a little bit of healing, and it's dragonfly energy from my animal magics. Now this means, oh, I love it, getting rid of illusion, going into different parallel other life like experiences. So I feel the veil is coming down, the illusion's going to go, and it's like, yeah, we're going to understand more, know more, and actually be able to experience more. I love it when dragonfly comes through.
And when I see the dragonfly, what came to me is that dragonflies are always like toop, 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 like moving from one thing to the other, very light, just like this, right?
Yes.
And so I feel like each life that we have is that. It's literally just a simple, oh, that's what it feels like to be a human, you know, with all this stuff. Oh, oh, that's what it's like to be a rock. Oh, you know, so to me, that's what the dragonfly signified when I saw it. It was that how
clarity.
fleeting and like how just light these different experiences we choose to have. They're just experiences, and that's it. So
that's it. Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah.
So thanks, Elisa. Jasper says goodbye.
All
And thanks to
right.
everyone.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Love you so much. Happy holidays, since our next show will be after Christmas.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys then. Love you so much. And don't forget, next Friday, we have the video with Zoe about Lemurians and Atlanteans. So, all right, guys. Love you very much. Happy holidays.